small business owners say they are absolutely struggling to thrive, and they are pointing the finger of blame at our state ferry system. Cairo News Radio's Micki Gomez is live in studio with us now. Hi, Micki. How are you this morning?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm just glad I don't have to ride a ferry this morning.
I know.
Or maybe a ferry would be faster today. I don't know.
Also true. Yeah.
Yeah, so Amy Dreyer, she's the executive director of the Vashon Island Chamber of Commerce, and she spoke with us about an organization that was formed called Islanders for Ferry Action, IFFA, and they formed it in response to a rough summer full of ferry disruptions. One boat service to Vashon Island. That was it. They were like, that's enough. We've got to do something about it. And Dreyer says the island is in crisis because of the constant ferry issues.
When the last boat back to Vashon Island is canceled, with dozens of teenagers stranded on the dock after a concert, it makes a big impact.
Yeah. She says IFFA penned an open letter to the state with like 50 suggestions that they would like implemented immediately.
We need to come forward in a cooperative way with articulated solutions that will help relieve this crisis for Vashon.
Now, she says Vashon Island small businesses are struggling under the ferry burden.
This isn't just about tourism. This is about getting supplies on and off the island. This is about getting labor on and off the island.
She says one builder told the organization a simple trip off island for a small amount of materials can take all day. And one business owner says, hey, I lose out on roughly $700 gross every day, an employee doesn't show up to work. And Dreyer wants to remind the state that when there's a pothole on Main Highway, it gets fixed. And she wants the same urgency when it comes to the ferries.
We don't run on asphalt roads, but we run on our marine highways, and we rely on them just as every other resident in the state relies on their highways.
And if there's an emergency,
we have ambulances transporting people off island that literally can't get back to Vashon to serve us if we have a 911 call.
And she says the crisis isn't just an inconvenience.
This is slowly strangling our island community.
And she says that the organization wants action. Now, we reached out to Washington State Ferries for a comment, and it says all boat routes are struggling, and the Fauntleroy Southworth Vashon route is doing better than most, and the problem won't get fixed until the agency has more boats and more staff.
I mean, that's where my brain goes is like, honestly, I don't blame the ferry service. They are doing what they can with what they can do. But it feels like to me, a decade plus ago, we just decided we weren't going to pay for ferries anymore. And now we are reaping what we sow.
Right.
I mean, like, and it's not just a Vashon problem. We spent some time on Orcas Island this summer.
Right.
And the entire 10 days we were there was not a single day that there wasn't a delay, a canceled boat. The inter-island service never ran. So if we were on Orcas and we wanted to get to Friday Harbor, we would have had to go to the mainland and then go back.
Yeah.
We have a friend who owns a house on Orcas, and getting a plumber up there is almost impossible. You have to get them from the mainland. And I mean, at one point he was like, maybe I could fly someone up from Seattle.
Right.
Imagine having to do that.
And that it would be faster if they did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yes.
Yeah. So what she was telling me was that because I asked her, I said, you live on an island. There's no way on or off except to ride a boat, except to take a ferry. Like, you know, what are your thoughts on that? And she told us that a lot of the people that live there moved there many years ago when the ferry system was operating in full capacity, and that they never imagined that something like this would happen. Because, you know, there's that other thought of, oh, well, you live on an island. What do you expect?
Yeah.
You know, and she said, you can't tell people, you know, to just move. You know, they've owned their homes. A lot of people that live on Vashon Island are seniors, so they can't just pick up and you know, and sell their home. Who's going to buy a house on an island that you can't get to? You know,
right.
So she says that they need this crisis fixed, and that it's imperative.
And it seems to me that property prices are also not coming down on islands.
No, they're
obviously
not.
People have second homes. That drives up prices. So a lot of people who work in restaurants or the service industry have to come from off island because they can't afford to live on the island. So if your business is all off islanders,
Right.
You don't have any servers today if there's no ferry service.
Exactly. And you're working extra hard. Not only that, but you're losing money in your business. Or if you're a builder and you build businesses there on Vashon Island. One of the things that I did ask, it's being an outsider looking in, and I said, why don't you have a bridge to Vashon? And she said that's not something that they want apparently, or that it's gonna cost a lot.
Down.
Yeah, it has been.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, then there you go. It's been voted down. And I said, but doesn't it make sense? And she said that infrastructure would cost an immense,
and if we can't even pay for ferries, we're not going to pay for a bridge to Vashon.
Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is not something that's going away. Hopefully, the legislative session, maybe there's some lawmakers that are going to start inserting some money. I mean, but this is something we deal with every year.
Yeah, pretty much. And about 15 or so years ago, when they stopped funding roads and ferries and started looking at bike lanes and buses and put all the focus there. And so what we have is crumbling. Yeah, it was a switch in philosophy. It went towards climate change stuff and bikes
and urban living
and things like that, and more transit.
That makes sense
and
now.
Now at the expense of this.
Wow.
We also had some initiatives where we decided to pay less for our car tabs. Right. There was a lot of money that was lost in that.
But then those were overturned and overturned. We still are waiting for our $30 tabs.
I don't think we're going to get a new fleet of boats until, 2027?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Micki Gomez, thank you very much.
You're very
Great
welcome.
conversation.